Up fifth is Ed Skurka. Ed is a 20-year experienced Toastmaster and an experienced public speaking trainer. His reputation is the basketball coach of public speaking and the guy who makes public speaking fun and effective. So please welcome Ed.
Let's get this out of the way here. Thank you. Good evening. Transience and the number one fear. For a long time, public speaking has had that notorious reputation of being the number one fear. So how do I take my story about the number one fear and tie it in with tonight's theme? And notice that just for your comic relief, I misspelled transience in my open shot. So I went to the dictionary and I looked up the definition of transience. The state or fact of lasting only for a short time. So how do I bring that in to my story, my message that I want to share with you tonight? Well, I went to the thesaurus, and there were 30 words that I found, 30 synonyms, and they all had something to do with time and change, uncertainty, changeability, impermanence, fluidity, mobility, and that's when my ADD kicked in, and Stephen Hawking, of course, Sheldon's best friend from the Big Bang Theory. In 1995-96, he wrote a story called The Brief History of Time and Space. And supposedly he wrote a nice, easy read for those of us who are non-technical people to understand. My ADD kicked in, finding some way to tie that in and make it relative with your experience, your life. And guess what? The most famous equation in history, E equals mc squared, Einstein's theory of relativity. So I've got two things going on here. Remember, relativity, it's the operative word in the story that I want to share with you. Number one fear, public speaking. How is this topic relative to your life, your career, and to you? And the answer is, in my 20 years of being a public speaking trainer, even outside of Toastmasters, I have found that about 90% of us have some degree of fear of public speaking, from absolute paralysis to, just worried and anxious. So basically, we're all in the same boat when we hear that public speaking. If you want to, or your boss comes and says you need to develop your public speaking skills, you've got three choices for action. You can say, no, I'm never going to do that, or I'll do it next week, next month, next year, procrastinate. Well, the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is if you want to do something about it, do it now. And if you're going to do something, start here, start now. Some people, well, everyone has to face the fear in order to start that road, that path. Some people have to face the fear of facing the fear. Others have to face the fear of facing the fear of facing the fear. Do you remember the first time that you felt the fear of public speaking? Was it in kindergarten, a third grade book report? My experience was in 7th grade. College, high school, last month at work when you blew a presentation. The butterflies, the trembling. I call this the benchmark experience. And for the rest of your life, when you hear public speaking, boom, you'll think right back to that negative benchmark. And what is your benchmark? Is it a positive one or a negative one? The negative one, I hate public speaking. The positive one, I love public speaking. My boss and my peers respect me for my abilities. If you want to change your life from that fear to comfort and confidence, it's a road that you have to walk, and only you can walk it. But in keeping with the word transience, it can be a very short road to make that change from fear to confidence. My challenge to the world is, how is learning to become a comfortable, confident speaker, and learning that skill set, how is it different from any other skill set? Academic, art, dance, music, sports skills, computer skills, business skills. They have to be learned and practiced. This is Michael Jordan. He's worth $1.5 billion, and every year, even though he's retired from basketball for 10 years now, he still makes $80 to $100 million a year on endorsements. Do you think he developed his skills? He went to basketball practice more than one time. These are some of the basic skills of public speaking, and there are many, many more. Eye contact, gestures, voice variation, movement, showing your passion. And those skills have to be practiced every bit as much as a jump shot or playing offense or playing defense. All skills need to be practiced. This father with his little boy, do you think that he showed him how to swing that bat one time? No, they probably did it 100 times, and the next day another 100. And then he played Little League and base and Babe Ruth in high school and college. Tom Brady went to practice more than one time. We need to practice these skills. So you might ask yourself, well, where can I get help? Well, the answer is where you can get help, where you can go to practice. If you're asking what will people think about me, Toastmasters is the answer. You see these two guys? There's a before and an after there. Toastmasters International was founded in 1924. We have 16,000 clubs in nearly 150 countries around the world. We work on a local club basis. 3,000 major corporations like Microsoft, Bank of America, Google, Apple, they all have in-house Toastmaster clubs. Of those two guys that you met a few moments ago, they both belong to a club. Which one would you rather belong to? The Fear of Public Speaking Support Group, where nobody talks to anybody else? Or would you rather join Toastmasters? That red arrow indicates the correct answer. So what is your choice, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want to keep the feelings of fear and anxiety, or would you rather become a comfortable, confident speaker? The answer is join a local Toastmasters club. There are 4 of them within 15 minutes of where we are right now. Contact me. My mission is to help other people become comfortable, confident speakers.